I'd so much rather daydream just to get disappointed than go through life a cynic, mistakenly appointed a realist. For what is real, if not to feel distinctly human hope? Excuse me as I elope with my journals and my dreams, no matter how nonsensical it seems, I'll be happier out there. One with thin air where I'll haven't to care if they call me a fool or warn I'll get burned by the harshness of reality. I may be naive, but I believe, secretly, they envy me in my rose-colored state of ecstasy, and I've got plenty of space next to me if you'd like to be the next to see the world as a daydream, and you may get disappointed. But human hope is worth the risk, and you will never be exploited by fear, because faith lives here. So join me, my dear, where the voice of the angel is clear and heaven is near, and I guarantee from this realm you will never be freer. So I call that poem The Logic of Optimism, because I believe that being optimistic is incredibly logical. So I just wanted to record a short, simple video about the logic of positive thinking, because very often people will dismiss positivity and optimism as wishful thinking, or they'll say, okay, maybe, but that's not real. Well, guess what? Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? I love that quote. But the truth is, you can be both. And honestly, so many studies and so much research has shown that optimistic people who choose to see the silver lining, who choose to have a positive outlook on life, are significantly happier and healthier and often live longer. So I just wanted to record a quick little video about why that makes sense. Even if you're a very logical-minded person and for you it's hard to believe, it's hard to see the bright side, it's hard to have faith in good things. And we're not talking necessarily right now about faith in a higher power. We're just talking about choosing to see the positives in any given scenario. The way I see it, any situation can go one of four ways. First way is the worst case scenario. It's you're not really expecting things to go well, you're not looking forward to it, and it doesn't go well. Way number two is you're not looking forward to it, you're nervous about it, you don't expect it to go well, and then look at that. It goes well. You're pleasantly surprised. Number three is you're really excited, you're looking forward to it, you have a lot of hope and optimism, and you believe it's going to go well, and it doesn't. And then you're bummed, and then you're disappointed. And number four, best case scenario, you're hoping it goes well, you believe it's going to go well, and boom, bam, there it goes well. And you're excited and feel good all around. Now, the reason that sometimes people don't want to look on the bright side, one is that they genuinely don't believe the situation can go well. Maybe they don't have faith in themselves for it to go well. If, let's say, just as an example, let's say we're talking about a presentation. I work as a speech coach, so I've counseled a lot of people through the mindset around their upcoming presentation. So the danger in believing it's going to go well is then if it doesn't go well, we'll be disappointed. We'll feel really bummed or discouraged, and we'll think, oh my gosh, but I had so much faith, I had so much optimism, and it still didn't go the way that I wanted. And so I believe that is the defense against being optimistic. That is why sometimes we're afraid to see the silver lining or to look on the bright side or to hope for the best because we don't want to be disappointed. Versus when we're expecting the worst and we assume I'm just not going to do well on this test or this presentation, I'm just totally going to bomb, and then we do better than we expected, that's a nice little surprise. But the reason I don't think that's helpful or healthy for us to practice in the long run is because, look, if you're, let's say, nervous for 2 weeks, dreading this presentation, and it goes well, you just wasted 2 weeks of your life being in a negative state. And if you spend 2 weeks looking forward to it, thinking, yeah, it's going to go well, pumping yourself up, and then it doesn't go well, you're going to be really bummed, and you'll be in a negative state for a day or two. But you'll have spent those other 2 weeks in a positive state. So I am all for optimizing the amount of time, maximizing the amount of time we spend feeling good and being in a positive state, because it's better for us and it feels good. So what I always tell my clients is, if you have to give this presentation anyway, you might as well have a good time. You might as well let it be a positive experience. And this is true for anything that we're feeling negatively about or feeling positively about, is we get to choose to look forward to it and to hope for the best, or we get to choose to be pessimistic and to expect things to go poorly. Now, this is different from if you're feeling physically nervous, because public speaking does trigger our nerves and anxieties, and that's a much deeper conversation. So this is not to say you can't have any negative emotions about something or any limiting beliefs about something. There are ways to clear those. I even have a guided meditation on my channel for overcoming limiting beliefs. But those things, yes, will come up. What I'm talking about is optimism versus pessimism. Daydreaming, in a sense, versus cynicism. Really believing that good is possible versus expecting, it's just going to go bad no matter what, because historically, here's what's happened. I see no downside to believing things will go well, even if you don't have evidence for it. The only potential downside is if they don't go well and then we feel bummed. But again, if we're positive and optimistic, we will be more resilient. So we're only spending time in that negative space for a little while, compared to dreading it for weeks and then it going well or not going well. We'd have spent weeks in that negative space. So think of something in your life that you're feeling like, I just really don't have any belief that this could go well. And I want you to actively consider the benefits of believing it can go well, which honestly usually make us perform better. Things tend to go well when we believe they'll go well, but we're not even including that right now. I want you to think of all the logical reasons why it makes most sense for you to be in a positive state leading up to that experience. And you can list all the cons, all the negative effects of being in a negative space and assuming it won't go well. And then you can decide if you want to feel optimistic about it or if you want to be pessimistic about it. It's really up to you. Has no bearing on me or my life, but I find there really is logic to being optimistic. It makes us feel better, it makes us healthier, it makes us live longer, and usually it makes the thing go better. And if it doesn't go well, it keeps us more resilient so that we're trained, our minds are trained to immediately go back to, well, it didn't go well this time, but it'll go better next time. Or here's what I need to work on. And we can actively reflect and work on improving the thing that didn't go well for next time. Versus if we're in a really negative space and we beat ourselves up over, oh, this didn't go well, I knew it, I'm just no good at this. And then we reinforce the limiting beliefs and the negative thought patterns. And then we stay in that really negative state. And then it's going to be really hard to do well the next time. So the poem I shared at the beginning kind of puts all of that in a nutshell, but I just wanted to elaborate a little bit. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she was like, how do you stay positive? You know, when really bad things happen, obviously that goes deeper and it's more challenging to process. But I do believe there's always a bright side. There's always a silver lining, which, if we're talking about the death of a loved one, it's like, what is the silver lining? And in those cases, I think we have to zoom out and trust that there is a force working around us that we may not understand. But again, that's not the purpose of this video. This video is specifically to say it is logical to be optimistic. It is illogical to be pessimistic. So if you struggle with being optimistic, there you go. There you have it. Those are my 2 cents on the matter. I hope you enjoy. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit the bell, like this video, share it with someone who you know is a negative Nelly, and say, hey, look, it actually makes a lot more logical sense for you to be more positive. Thank you.